Hey, what's up, guys? So today I wanted to do something different than what I do usually. So basically, I want to check one of Build's game and just analyze it. At least just the laning phase in the early game. That's not something I've done before, so I'm not really good at, analyzing stuff live. I like to take my time and analyze it slowly and having time to like make up my sentences and my words. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to improvise. Um, so this is the Renekton matchup, which I know a lot of people want to see because Renekton is easily in the top 3 or top 5 of counter matchup, at least the ones that play the matchup properly. Um, I've seen so many Renektons pick Renekton just to counter Riven, but they have no idea how to play the matchup. So sometimes you can actually win it, even though they pick the counter champ, right? So he went Conqueror, which I'm not a fan of. I think if you really want to win the lane as Renekton into Riven, PTA just gives you the upper hand. And it even makes the matchup almost impossible, honestly. Um, Conqueror is good for later into the game, but if you want to dominate Riven and totally deny her from playing the game, I'm pretty sure PTA should be the way to go. TP is, I guess TP is fine, but if you play PTA Ignite on Renekton, there's almost no way for Riven to win it. There's actually no way for her, unless you're like handless or something, but that's another topic. Anyway, so here, okay, so Build wards the red buff here because the Jarvan started bot side. The Jarvan started at the enemy red buff, so I'm gonna assume that he was the one pinging for help because he wanted to see if the Wukong will go for the cross map play. This way that helps the Jarvan to adapt on his pathing. So I'm gonna check at the runes. He has been plating and he actually started Q, which I'm not a fan of. Again, if you want to dominate the lane as Renekton, I'm pretty sure you need PTA and starting W. W is just so OP, especially with PTA. Q does not bring much on this matchup level 1. So, okay, here, this is the obvious thing. So, whenever you play against a champion that has bone plating, you want to start the laning phase by extending your Qs and proc the bone plating with the max range for Q, which is most likely what's going to happen here. Exactly. And now you back off. This way, it has no bone plating. You just wait for your Q to come back up and you can maybe take a trade depending on the matchup and stuff. So now, Build has the information that the Renekton started Q, which is an important information to get. So now the Renekton has no Q and he gave away the spell he started with. So Build can just go back for the Olin. Like once the Q comes back up, around 2 seconds of cooldown, he can start walking up to the Renekton or just wait for the Renekton to walk up to the CS. So here, Renekton is gonna walk up. Yeah, there you go. So Build is most likely gonna turn and go for the auto Q. Exactly, because the Renekton just can't win the trade, especially if he started Q. So aggressive ignites. There's no kill, but so much pressure from Riven side. The issue is that Renekton gets level 2 first because of the minion wave. So Build has to play safe until he gets level 2. So here he's gonna try to go for the the spacing was not good enough to go for the all-in, so he had to back off. Okay, so what's happening here? He's gonna wait for his Q. So he's most likely gonna go in now. Yep, there you go. Okay, so let me explain. So here Renekton totally fucked up by using the Q here. By using Q here, he spent Fury, so that means that he doesn't have the empowered stun anymore, and that his Q is on cooldown, which means less damage on the trade. So now Build can just go in once the Q comes back up, because even if he gets stunned, it won't be the empowered stun, and the Renekton won't have Q anywhere, so it's just gonna be auto attack stun, and that's it. So at this point, Build just wins the trade. So it just goes in with the once the Q comes back up, and gets the kill. The only reason he could go in was because Renekton wasted Q, spent all of the Fury. I'm pretty sure that if he still had Fury, there's a chance that build would not have gone in because like the empowered stun is like way too strong, especially level 2 like that. So he flashes away to escape the gank. Wukong. Okay, so this sucks for build, for the laning phase at least, but this can be an advantage for his team because the Wukong has no flash anymore, which can actually change the outcome of a skirmish or a gank. Like maybe the Wukong is not gonna get a kill or he's gonna die just because he has no flash. So maybe the wave is not gonna. Oh, actually, okay. Renekton doesn't get to crash the wave, and he starts to. Oh, he's actually panicking. Okay, hold up. That's so good for build. Because the Renekton tries to push as fast as he can. I mean, he could have used E to push faster, but that wasn't fast enough to crash the wave before this one reaches. Which means that the wave is gonna reach this point here, so it's not gonna be a full wave crash. And he starts to see the invade going on. So he starts to panic because he sees that Ahri is coming up, so he knows that the enemy jungler is coming too. So he tries to crush this wave as fast as he can so he can go into the fight. But instead he took way too much damage. I mean, he got the wave crash, but he lost damage for it. And the wave just crashed now, so the cannon is gonna be fully tanking the tower, and build gets there in time to get the XP. And actually Wukong died here? Hold on. Yeah, he died. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's go back. So here you see that Renekton starts to panic because he knows that Wukong went for a fucking greedy play here. But the Renekton sees it and he's like, I want to help you, but at the same time I need to crash this wave, otherwise my lane is fucked. So he tries to drag the wave here, but then he sees that it's not enough to crash the wave. So he does everything he can to try and crash the wave faster, but it's not fast enough to help the jungler. And here the Wukong dies, and the only reason he dies here is because besides the fact that he went greedy for the red buff, it's because he has no flash. And the reason he has no flash was because build flashed away on the gank. So here there's so many things that went wrong because of the state of the top lane. First of all, the Wukong can't escape the 1v2 because he has no flash, because build flashed away, so he had to flash in. And then the Renekton could not get there in time because the wave was not pushed fast enough, so he had to crash the next wave. These fights would have went differently if the Renekton actually pushed the wave faster here. Because I'm pretty sure he could have pushed it faster. Even like the Wukong could have damaged the minions maybe. And he even showed up, like that was so dumb from him. He literally showed the enemy team that he was going into the jungle, which made it so obvious. But here the Renekton could have like, oh, he's not free. And okay, so now he can just E twice. There's a long CD on E, but it's, yeah, and that was tough. It was hard to crash the wave anyway. But yeah, that makes the Wukong play kind of shit. So now, anyway, this move gives the upper hand to build, because he gets back, he gets the cannon XP, and now he gets the slow push. He gets the slow push, so he's gonna be able to take some short trades against Renekton, and maybe a kill, depending on how it's played out. I mean, at this point, the Renekton should just stand back and wait for the wave to crash on the tower. Because, okay, he went Crystal instead of like Longsword or something. He's not going Blade of the Ruined King, which is interesting. I mean, I don't know if... I still think Blade of the Ruined King is nice on Renekton, even if you don't go PTA. But anyway. At this point, build is most likely going to try to proc the bot plating when he gets back to lane and take some short trades, because build is building, no pun intended by the way, he's building a big wave. So this is a slow push, which means that whenever he trades against Renekton, he's gonna win because of the massive minion wave, and because there's also a cannon in the wave, right? So now build wins most likely any short trades in the minion waves. So now all he has to do is to build a slow push, take short trades whenever he can. Okay, so Renekton just fucked up, by the way. Okay, let's see. He's most likely gonna die or flash away here. Because for some reasons he just uses E forward just like that. Here, yeah. For some reasons he uses E in when he doesn't have the upper hand. And then he uses empowered Q instead of the empowered stun. I'm pretty sure empowered stun into Q and then disengage with E would have been much better of a trade here. Because now he doesn't have the damage and he's gonna have to flash away or die, yeah. So now, okay. So this is a moment in the game where a lot of people will be so greedy and will try to go for the kill before crashing the wave. Here, we're like, Build has all the information he needs to know that he's safe. First of all, the enemy jungler is bot side, right? So there's no gank possible from the jungler, and the mid laner is mid. He's low HP, there's no way for him to ever go top, right? So there's two possibilities now. Either the Renekton goes into the Fog of War and he goes back to base and he sacrifices the wave and the XP, but he doesn't die. Or the Renekton stays and try to outplay the potential dive and the slow push. This is 50-50 for Renekton. But if Build plays with patience, there's no way that the Renekton ever kills him. So all he has to do, okay, so now he backs off because there's like everything on cooldown, right? So he doesn't want to give more healing to, because if he gets hit by the Q with the Fury, Renekton will be hitting so much, which would make the dive maybe impossible to happen. So this is what, okay, and he just used E, by the way. There's no here. He's gonna E forward or E out. Yeah, he just hit out, and you have to know that there's 18 seconds of cooldown level 1 on his E. So now, no flash, no E, no level 6. This should definitely be a dive. And Renekton is aware of that, but there's nothing he can do. I mean, the only thing he can do is just like recall. You can see the pings, like, I mean, I don't know who pings that, but there's nobody that can come help him because the Wukong just took a bad trade here. Here, Renekton knows that he's fucked. If he goes back to base and loses the wave, he loses the lane, but if he dies here, he loses the lane as well. So all he can do is to try an outplay. And you can see that it was actually super close. This was potentially the best outcome for Renekton here. But in the end, it's still a loss for him. It's the best outcome, but still a loss. Let's see if Build could have done that differently so it would not be so close, because... Wait, fuck. There's a long cooldown on the dash. He's gonna dash away here. Yeah, but there's way too much cooldown on Build for him to push the wave faster, and if he starts using spells to push now, he won't have any spell to get like to tower dive. Because you could think that now he has to use a spell, like to use his spells to push the wave, but if he does, then once he gets to the tower, he has nothing to dive. So the best move here, I think, maybe the best move would have been to not use the E right away and engage with QW. So it would not be so close, but still. I'm at this point I'm pretty sure Build thought that Renekton's dash was still in cooldown. I'm pretty sure that's what happened here. Or I should have just EW instead of EO2W. It would have been less close. But still, that's a win for him. Because he dies, but Renekton does not get the kill, and he loses all of this. And the cannon is like low HP anyway, so it's gonna lose even more CS than if the cannon was full HP. So now the wave is gonna be slow pushing back to Build's side. So Build is gonna go for Goredrinker, which is not surprising. Renekton seems to be going for... I have no fucking idea. Goredrinker maybe? I'm so used of Renekton's going Blade of the Ruined King into Prowler that I don't even know what they build otherwise. I would say Goredrinker, but yeah. So now the wave is slow pushing back to build side. There's a chance that he's gonna be holding the wave. He's gonna get 6 soon, right? So the best shot for him will be to hold the wave here, which is most likely what's gonna happen. That's why he's warding, by the way. He's most likely warding so he can be sure that he can hold the wave here. Now he's gonna go back here and try to hold the wave as much as he can. He gets 6 here. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I mean the minion wave was too big maybe to be held. Maybe that's just because I'm a greedy bitch, but I would have been using my E upward just to hold the wave, because the Renekton has nothing anymore and I'm 6. And the wave is not too far away. Yeah, maybe that's just because I'm a greedy bitch that I would have held the wave here, so I just wait for my cooldowns and kill him. But I mean, he gets a slow push anyway. So it still works the same way, but the way... Okay. The Renekton is playing way too aggressively right now. If I were built, I would expect the Wukong to be near, but I don't think he's near. Yeah, he's not. That's interesting. Because the Renekton takes way too much free damage, which is gonna allow build to go for the kill later on, most likely. See? Like he took almost half HP through a small trade. So now this is a slow push and it's gonna be the same thing again. Remember when I said he's gonna be slow pushing, building a big wave, taking short trades, and then go for the dive. It's most likely what's gonna happen again. Okay, so I guess Renekton went for the fruit. The fruit? I don't know how you say that in English, my accent is fucking shit. Okay, so yeah, he went to take the plants to heal up. Yeah, he's gonna go for the short trade here, first the dash. Okay, so now this is the dive. This is a tower dive here. There's no chance that it's not. He waits for the Q. There you go. There you go. He's gonna get out of range. Okay, so let's explain to you why that's a tower dive. I mean, most of you probably know, but for the people who don't, who aren't sure about that, I'm gonna explain. So here, he takes a short trade, right? The Renekton is gonna lose a lot of HP, and then he uses his dash. So as I said earlier, it's 18 seconds of cooldown, and he used the stun as well, which is like 16 seconds, right? So he literally has nothing to outplay, especially since he has no flash either, and mostly because he's not 6 yet. He's still level 5, and he's far away from the level 6. So all build has to do is to walk up to Renekton, not use any spells, just wait for the Q to come back up, and once the Q comes back up, you engage with R, and then you just go for the dive here. Because the Renekton has no dash, so he can't outplay, no flash, so same thing, he can't like dash away, flash away, and he has no stun to stun you on the tower. So there's just nothing for him to be done here. So now, he has I think he knows that the Wukong's bot side because it has been pinged, and he sees that the Swain is mid. So there's a chance that he gets the wave. It's either he's gonna push the wave or wait, like let it slow push back. So yeah, he takes the wave and he's gonna go for one more plate. Get the plate and go B. Yep. And the same thing is most likely gonna happen again. Because the wave is under Renekton's tower, it's gonna slow push back to build side, which means it's gonna allow him to slow push back to Renekton's side, building a big wave, taking short trades, and then go for the kill again. And this is most likely on a timing where Jarvan is gonna be top side, so Jarvan is DC'd, so it's not gonna be helpful. But yeah, short trade. I mean, that was not a short trade, just a button plating proc. Now that's a short trade, but then the Renekton just used R, but he has nothing to keep fighting. Yeah, there's not much to analyze on that move though, because the Renekton just fucking ran it down. I mean, I'm sorry for that. I mean, this guy is much better than I am, because he's challenger, you know, and I'm just a fucking master player, but like, he's against a one trick, so you know, sometimes it has to be expected. Even if you counter pick, especially if you don't play a champion that you play a lot, He's actually not challenger. He's masters. Yeah, he's masters, and he has 51% on Renekton with a neutral KDA. So yeah, he just doesn't know how to play the matchup. That's just it. But yeah, here there's not much to analyze. It's just basically one plating proc, disengage, Renekton goes ham, uses all of his cooldowns. But then, like, he has nothing anymore. His flash is still down. Build knows that. And Build has less cooldowns than the Renekton, so he can just go full all in and way more items than he does. At this point, the lane's basically just done for him. I mean, for Renektons. So, to make a TLDR of the leading phase, okay, let's go back. I'm just gonna make a TLDR. So here he wards because his jungler started on the enemy buff, so he wants to have the information on the cross map play. Then he stacks up his Qs to proc the bond plating, backs off, has got the information that the Renekton started Q, so now he knows that he can trade back because it's actually on cooldown, so there's nothing the Renekton can do. Once the Renekton, like, you don't have to chase and go deep for a trade. Sometimes you just want, to chill, wait for your opponent to work up for a CS, and then you go in. Because one of the biggest mistakes that people tend to make is that they really want to commit for the trade. So what they do is, like, they go super deep, but they start to drag the wave away, or they take damage from the minions, or they waste their Qs to gap close, so they have no damage to trade. Sometimes just like that, you chill, and you have to act. Sometimes playing League is like being an actor. I don't know if Build did that on purpose, but basically you can see that he walks back, like, behind the minions. Sometimes you want to walk behind your minions even when you have the upper hand, because you want to put your opponents, to give confidence to your opponents. Like, the Renekton sees that Build backs off, so he thinks that he's fine now. But that could, like, I don't know if that's on purpose. I know that is something that I will do, and I'm pretty sure that Build did that on purpose too. But now the Renekton goes for the minion because he sees that Riven is backed off. But that's just an act to bait the Renekton onto the minion and then go for the all-in. Right? Then he backs off. Aggressive ignites. He wanted to go for one more auto, but he can't. Renekton gets 2, so Build gets level 2. Right now. Tries to go for the all-in. You can see that he took W, by the way. He took W level 2 because he was close enough to potentially take a trade. But then he sees that the spacing is not good enough. The spacing is not good enough between them, so it's not worth to take the risk. So he has to back off. Just wait for the cooldown to be back. And then Renekton's gonna waste his Q here. So no Fury, which means that Build can go for the all-in. That's a really close trade, but that's still a win here. So now Build flashes away, forcing the Wukong flash, which means that Wukong won't be able to escape the 1v2 here. Renekton can't crash the wave fast enough, so he can't help his jungler, and he's forced to go B because he took so much damage here. And anyway, he has gold to spend. On this spot now, the Riven gets the slow push. And this slow push is most like as we saw earlier, this slow push is most likely what's gonna win the lane for Riven. But because it's gonna allow her to take a short trade, win the short trade. So every time it's gonna be crushing the wave under Renekton's tower after killing him, going back to base, getting the slow push, building the slow push, short trade, dive, and reset. And then you do that over and over again. This is what happened literally every time this game. And this is what should happen in most of your games. Because this is one of Riven's greatest strength, is that you have the possibility to control the wave pretty good, and you can force dives pretty easily onto most champions, especially when you're so fed, like so ahead on your lane. So here gets the kill. He dies, but doesn't matter because Renekton is fucked at this point. And the wave is gonna slow push back. So we just repeat what we just did. We go back to lane, build the slow push, and then we just win the lane because With the slow push, we get the short trades, and with the short trades, we allow tower dives. Yep. That's it. I mean, he won the lane because he's a better player than the Renekton, but also because the Renekton played the matchup pretty badly, and he took the wrong runes and wrong spells. I mean, this is much better if you go PGA and start W on Renekton. And his spacing and his decisions were pretty bad, which gave a lot of room for Riven to abuse it. Spacing is so important against Riven. Like I say, level 2, when Burt gets when he gets level 2 here, you see that he takes his turn, but he can't use it or go for the third Q because Renekton is gonna take his W, so he's gonna get stunned during the animation of the third Q, and the stun is hardly in range, so it's just better to back off. This is just something important to take into account. Spacing is so important, and sometimes you have to realize when you should just back off because the spacing is not good enough. Like I said, sometimes people will just go too deep and drag the wave, take damage from the minions. So you always have to be aware of that. But yeah, I think we spoke about the laning phase pretty well. When playing proc, abusing the cooldowns of your opponent, especially when you know what spell they took level 1. Because there are some matchups in which you can't win depending of the spell your opponent takes, and there are people that won't take the right spell. For example, I see so many Darius starting with Q when they should be starting W, because the W start makes it much harder for Riven to actually take trades against a good Darius. So yeah, I think we saw enough. So I hope you guys learned some stuff. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you like that type of video, just let me know, and I'm gonna try to see that more often. Anyway, peace out.